Tony Khan has a surprise for Saturday. He sent out a tweet that they have signed a mystery man, somebody that is universally respected as a professional wrestler.
Just to specify, we don't know if it's a man or a woman.
You're right. Yeah. Let's get the exact language here. One of the world's best wrestlers will sign for AEW at Full Gear, gender neutral, and they have to show up respected by virtually every AEW fan. So he's not just completely saying unanimous. Okay. Virtually every AEW fan. There's some that this person, it's not their style. They will come to LA to sign their contract this Saturday, November 18th on pay-per-view. And of course, see you tonight on hashtag AEW Dynamite before Full Gear. So this is one of Tony's tried and true promotional hooks for pay-per-view. And I guess you can throw out your speculation as to who is showing up. I will say this. I don't know if you could name me one person on the planet that AEW absolutely needs right now. There is not one person. Could it be Mercedes Moné? Of course it could be Mercedes Moné. Could it be,
John Cena?
I don't think it's going to be John Cena. That would be my guess. Okay.
Okay. But I'm just saying if he was available, he would help the company. Yes.
I guess he would. Yes. If you could get John Cena. Although I don't know, the guy just had arm surgery and he's about to have another arm surgery.
It's not going to be John Cena.
I don't know if John Cena would.
You're saying of the people that are available, nobody is a big enough difference maker to AEW's business.
I think that this is, if you go back to when Sting debuted, okay? It was very high on this debut. And they got a bump in the numbers. And at that time, I said this multiple times, is that when you see this bump, it can become very intoxicating to just keep going back to this well, because it's always going to provide that immediate like dopamine hit if you're a promoter and your audience that craves surprises, and then you're just constantly going. And there's great names you can pick up. I don't think anyone would look at this roster and say, you know what they're missing? They're not missing anything. They have everything and then some on this roster. I would look at that when it comes to, and we should also do the timeline here. All the recent WWE cuts, that was September 21st, I believe. So unless there are some special no compete clauses, to our understanding, 90 days, which would likely limit all of those names that I'm sure people are going through. That would be till mid-December that they would be available.
Right. Tony likes to collect his toys. You know, he likes to see what's out on the free market. He likes to go to the flea market and see who he can pick up. And I mean, let's just assume that it might be somebody like a Mercedes Moné. I mean, this would have probably been in the works for a long time before. I would say maybe the sentiment of AEW having too many ex-WWE, or at least maybe older professional wrestlers coming into their system was part of like more of the sort of public discussion. And Mercedes Moné, I don't even think qualifies as, you know, she's certainly not older, you know. She
would be received very well, I think. Like, you're in LA, it would be, and honestly, it would be a big enhancement to an area of AEW's roster that I think is looking for more attention. And this would be the latest, I think, argument is that, well, Tony needs some major star that he is going to, you know, just rocket ship to the moon in their women's division. But I think Mercedes Moné would be, I mean, instant. I would not be worried about whoever this is showing up and not getting a great reaction. They'll get a great reaction, whoever it is. But I think Mercedes...
Okay, it depends who it is, okay? So now, expectations, coming off of, I think, enough discussion about Tony Khan and his announcing announcements, I have to think that he and the entire company are very sensitive about making sure that this one lives up to expectations. So it has to be somebody at least on the level of a Mercedes Moné. If it was anybody underneath that... I think if it was even, okay, let's say Dolph Ziggler was available. Even if it was a Dolph Ziggler, I think that would be a disappointment.
He'd still get a big pop.
He'd get a good reaction, but I think you'd also find people that would groan at, you know.
The one that is often cited was TNA that always loved to do this game of the surprise. And one of them was Chavo Guerrero Jr. And he comes out And dude, and this is after he's had his run. Like he's, losing the Hornswoggle in WWE. Dude, he came out. TNA thought they had signed Steve Austin. Okay. And I'm talking about the audience. They treated him like it was, oh my God, Chavo Guerrero Jr.
But a live reaction, I think, is different from maybe what an online reaction might be.
Okay. I'm talking about the live reaction.
Okay, sure. If Hornswoggle came out, would he get a good live reaction?
Virtually everyone.
Maybe it's Chavo.
You know what? He's
available.
He's promoting Iron Claw. He could be. Maybe he can come coordinate some street fights down the road.
Sure.
So that's I guess the last minute push that they have for Full Gear is a surprise.